What happens when a young girl dares to dream beyond the stars? But her own teacher tells her she'll never make it. This isn't just a story of rejection. It's a story of resilience, humiliation, and a twist that no one saw coming. A small-town middle school in the Deep South. The camera lingers on dusty hallways, faded posters of astronauts, and rows of old lockers. A narration begins. In this quiet town, dreams rarely took flight. For many kids here, life was mapped out before they even left childhood. Finish school, get a job, survive. But for one girl, her gaze was fixed on the stars. The teacher, Mrs. Clark, asked the class about their career goals. Kids shout, "Football player," "Nurse," "Mechanic." Amara stands shy but glowing. "I want to work at NASA. I want to be an astronaut." The classroom falls silent. A smirk spreads across Mrs. Clark's face. She bursts out laughing. "NASA? Sweetheart, people like you don't end up there. Be realistic." The class laughs along. Amara lowers her eyes, shame flooding her face. Introduce Amara, a bright, curious black girl around 12 years old, sitting in class sketching rockets in her notebook. Camera zooms on Amara's trembling hands clutching her notebook. In that moment, a child's heart cracked. The laughter wasn't just sound, it was a verdict. To her, it meant she wasn't smart enough, not worthy enough, maybe not even human enough to dream beyond her little town. We see Amara later at home, tears streaming as she stares at the night sky. Her grandmother, wise and gentle, places a hand on her shoulder. "Don't let anyone clip your wings, baby. If you want the stars, you go get them." Amara begins secretly studying, devouring library books on space and science. She hides her sketches from her classmates. Her determination grows, but so does the ridicule. Whispers follow her in hallways. "Space girl." "NASA's not for you." Dreams when mocked can either break a soul or build one. One day, the school announces a science fair. Amara enters quietly, unveiling a detailed model of a rocket launch system. The judges are stunned by her knowledge, but before they can award her, Mrs. Clark mutters, "She didn't really build that. Someone must have helped her." The audience is left uncertain. Did Amara cheat? Or is this just another attempt to crush her spirit? Days later, Amara receives a letter in the mail. She opens it slowly, her hands trembling. The audience only sees her eyes widen, tears forming. It wasn't just a letter, it was an invitation. But from who and why? The letter wasn't just words on a page, it was proof. Proof that the dream Amara once whispered to the stars was finally being heard. But the moment she opened it, her life in that small town was about to change forever. Amara carefully unfolds the letter. Her eyes scan it, her lips trembling as she whispers, "Congratulations, Amara Johnson. You have been selected to attend NASA's Young Innovators program at the Johnson Space Center." Tears roll down her cheeks. Her grandmother hugs her tight. "Baby girl, the stars just called your name." But when news spreads around school, the atmosphere shifts. Some students are amazed, whispering, "She's going to NASA?" But Mrs. Clark's face hardens. She smirks and says loud enough for everyone to hear, "NASA doesn't waste time on pity projects. They just picked you for publicity." The words slice deeper than laughter ever could. Amara feels the sting of not just doubt, but resentment. When a dreamer rises, not everyone applauds. Some sharpen their knives. At home that night, Amara stares at the letter again. Instead of joy, doubt creeps in. Maybe she's right. Maybe I was just a token. She breaks down, but her grandmother speaks firmly. "Listen to me, Amara. They saw your brilliance, not your color. Don't you dare let a bitter voice drown out the truth you've worked for." Cut to Amara arriving at the Johnson Space Center. Huge rocket models tower above her. Wide-eyed, she feels like she's stepped into another universe. Other kids from across the country are there, buzzing with excitement. A NASA engineer greets them. "Welcome, future explorers. Today you begin where others said you couldn't." The camera lingers on Amara's face, nervous, overwhelmed, but glowing with pride. As Amara starts the program, she quickly impresses the mentors with her creativity. But back home, Mrs. Clark grows more bitter. She spreads rumors to the school board, suggesting Amara's family cheated to get her into NASA. The scene cuts between Amara thriving at NASA and Mrs. Clark planting seeds of doubt back home. For every step Amara took toward the stars, someone tried to drag her back down to Earth. During a tour of NASA's Mission Control, Amara is unexpectedly pulled aside by a program director. His tone is serious. "Amara, there's something unusual about your application. We need to talk." Her smile fades. The screen cuts to black. What if the one thing you thought was a mistake turned out to be your greatest destiny? Amara's invitation to NASA wasn't luck. It wasn't pity. And the truth behind it will silence every doubt, every laugh, and every voice that tried to break her. Inside NASA headquarters, the program director sits across from Amara. He slides her file across the table. "Amara, when your application came in, something caught our eye. Your designs, your vision, they match solutions our senior engineers have been working on. You're not just here to learn. You're here because we believe your ideas could change the future." Amara gasps, overwhelmed. Her voice shakes. "But I'm just a kid." So was every genius when they started. News outlets pick up the story. 12-year-old Amara Johnson selected by NASA for Young Innovators program. Her classmates watch the report in awe. Even those who mocked her now whisper with envy. But Mrs. Clark grows desperate. She calls a school meeting accusing Amara of plagiarism. The board invites Amara and her grandmother to respond. Amara walks into the meeting trembling, but carrying something in her hands. Her old notebooks filled with rocket sketches, calculations, and months of hard work. She lays them out. The room goes silent. The truth doesn't need to shout. It only needs to be seen. Mrs. Clark, red-faced, blurts, "This doesn't change anything. She'll never really belong there." But a board member interrupts. "On the contrary, she already does. And maybe it's time we start asking if you belong here, Mrs. Clark." The tables turn. Mrs. Clark, who once laughed at a dream, is now facing the consequences of her bitterness. Weeks later, Amara returns to school after her NASA program. As she walks the hallways, students who once mocked her now part like a wave. Some even clap quietly. But the biggest shock comes when she's called to the principal's office. Waiting for her is the same NASA program director. He smiles. "Amara, we've decided to extend your program into a mentorship. One day, if you choose, NASA will be ready for you. Not just as a student, but as a leader." Her eyes widen, hope filling her voice. "Leader? Yes, the stars aren't waiting, Amara. They're welcoming you." Amara's story reminds us, dreams don't have limits. Not of age, not of race, not of doubt. What began with laughter ended with legacy, and the little girl who once cried beneath the stars is now on her way to touching them. Final shot. Amara looking through her telescope, whispering to herself, "I'm coming."